Are the Elgato Wave microphones the main event of their total package? Let's talk about that. My name is Chris, this is Coalition Gaming, and today I'll be your stream technician. Real quick, if you're new around here and are into PC hardware, tech, gaming, stream tips, and tutorials, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss a single upload. Also, I stream to Twitch every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/Coalition Gaming Crew. So feel free to stop by, drop a follow, and let's talk some tech. Anyways, let's get to the video. By now, everyone is well aware of what the Elgato Wave microphones have to offer. Heck, they even released their own Wave XLR interface. In case you don't know though, the Elgato Wave series of microphones, that being the Wave 1 and the Wave 3, were developed with help from a very legitimate microphone company called Lewitt. So it goes without saying the microphones themselves shouldn't disappoint, even down to their build quality. These are USB cardioid condenser microphones, so the pickup pattern will pick up like your voice mostly from the front while trying to reject noise from the sides and rear. The Wave 3 itself features a multifunction dial on the front where you can press down on it to change selection, to change input gain, adjust headphone volume, and even adjust crossfade between microphone monitoring and the noises coming through it. Pretty nifty. Speaking of headphone volume, there is a headphone jack on it for zero latency monitoring too. The USB port on the back is Type-C, so that's nice to see instead of the usual micro USB. A feature I really like is the capacitive mute on the top, aka touch to mute and unmute. It's a very nice quality of life feature that has the benefit of not causing any audible click noise that other mics cause from sliding an on-off slider. Now, you can add things like a pop filter and a shock mount, but they are sold separately, so be aware of that. However, in my opinion, a shock mount is an absolute must-have, and I go over why right up here. Anyways, that's enough about the hardware specs. Let's talk about the real game changer that Elgato put together with this mic, the Wavelink software. We'll do a sound test with the mic while talking about the software, so let's get to it. Okay, so now we're down at the desktop and we have OBS open. So some things that you have to do first before getting the Wavelink software going is, well, this is after you've installed the Wavelink software, but there's some stuff you have to do in OBS to make sure that your mic is set up properly. So you go into settings and then you go to audio and you want to do desktop audio. This part doesn't matter so much. It could be disabled as far as, you know, whatever you want there. But mic, right here, mic/auxiliary audio. Don't do it for mic in Elgato Wave 3. If you do that, you will really only have your voice coming through OBS. And then your desktop audio is going to have to be set to one of the virtual inputs in order to get audio, but only from that specific input. You have to go to Wavelink Stream. Think about it. OBS is what you're using to stream. So Wavelink to Wavelink Stream, or mic to Wavelink Stream in OBS. And there you go. And now all the adjustments you make in the Elgato Wave software will reflect changes in OBS. Oh, by the way, this entire section where I'm covering OBS and the Wavelink software is being recorded using the Wave 3 microphone. Okay, and with that out of the way, we have the Wavelink software here for you to see. I'm going to go ahead and redo this step real quick for you guys. So adding a virtual input is as easy as clicking the plus button here. And, you know, they're pre-named ones, which is fine. I'm just going to go to browser, and that way we're going to play some music for you guys like you would for your stream. And I'm going to make sure that's turned down quite a bit. So this is this song that we're going to be playing. You want to add your browser in to play music for your stream, for example. So once that's added, you actually go here to little mixer guy, and you make sure that in this, the Wavelink browser is selected. So the virtual inputs can all be directed using the Windows volume mixer, this screen that we're at right now. Anything that you want directed in through the Wavelink software for you to control it can be done here. So OBS, we could even put like as an auxiliary. So we will probably have to add the virtual input, but I'm going to make OBS Wavelink aux 1. Now, what that will accomplish for you guys as streamers is that when OBS makes noise, like you get alerts and such, well, that just means that you can control how loud that is in your headphones versus what the stream hears by making it a virtual input in Wavelink. Let's pause the music now. And in order to do that, now that I told OBS, Windows Volume Mixer to send it to the aux1 input, I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to go here to aux1. And now this is what can control the noises that alerts and such will make through OBS's browser sources, like if you're using Stream Elements, for example. Now looking at the Wavelink software, you see here monitor mix and stream mix. Monitor mix is what you're hearing with your headphones, and that's if your headphones are connected into the microphone's zero latency monitoring jack. And stream mix is also right there. So if you want to hear how the stream is hearing your audio, you just click the little ear on it and it switches over. And if you want to go back to just what you're hearing, how it is configured for your ears, you just click the ear there. And then here, if you can also adjust the volumes individually. So this is what I hear right here. And like if I was playing music again, here we go. I can lower that in my headphones to basically nothing, but you guys are still hearing it a lot louder. And in order to like test for that, you just click this one. Yes, I hear it louder in my headphones now, but I go back to me and it's low. And so the cool thing is if you don't want it too loud on the stream, you can do it like this. Let's say you want it lower for you, but kind of low on the stream. And then you can click the little link button. And when you adjust the volume from one, it dynamically takes them together. Just like that. So a little bit louder for you is also a little bit louder for the stream. Very useful. Now I'm hooked up with a laptop right now, which actually has its own built-in microphone. But if you're hooked up in your whole streaming setup, odds are you probably already have a headset or other microphone. And if for some reason you wanted to use a different microphone, maybe in a different scene or just something maybe you like better or just wanted to test things out, the Elgato Wavelink software does allow you to add your own microphone if you just add it like that. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and mute that though, because now I'm echoing. So there we go. As you can see, you can see the bars bouncing on there. The laptop can hear me. The other microphone works. So then you can basically, if you wanted to, you could even just use that for it. But I mean, you're paying this much for a microphone, you might as well use this one. This one definitely doesn't sound bad at all. You can even rearrange your inputs here. That's if you wanted to move them around, just to like have a better idea visually of where you want your stuff. You just drag them and move them around like that. And I believe you can add up to 8 virtual inputs, probably something that's limited to the total number of virtual inputs that you see here. So let's say Steam, you know what I mean? So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the virtual inputs that Elgato's Wavelink software lets you use, and that's probably the maximum amount that you can add in the software as a result. And that's really it with the software. It's really straightforward, really simple, and the cool thing about it is what I just mentioned about how to dynamically adjust the volume for your headphones for what you hear versus what the stream hears. That applies for everything, any game that you might be playing as well. And if you are playing a game, that's something you can just all set into the Wavelink game input. And whenever you play a game, let's just pretend here for a second that Steam is a game. So here you just go in and set the output device for it to go to be the Wavelink input. So you would just set it to game, Wavelink game, just like that. And then anytime you launch that game, Windows will remember, hey, I'm going to send it to the Wavelink virtual input. And then whatever you control in the Wavelink software will control it for your stream as well. One other thing I wanted to demonstrate is the clip guard. Clip guard is a really, really nice feature of the software and of this microphone. As you can see here, clip guard is turned on. And no matter how loud I yell, like I'm about to do right now, just a warning, you won't see this hit the red. You won't hear me peak loud. I only saw it go into the yellow. And then if I turn the clip guard off, loud. Big difference. Now, one thing I haven't checked is if you can turn the clip guard on into the other like microphone that you might add. So let's check there. And doesn't look like it. So I guess that's something that is specific to the Elgato software, or if you wanted to use your own mic and have clip guard, but you don't necessarily need to buy this microphone. You can buy the new Wave XLR interface, and then you have access to clip guard using your own microphone. So it's good that Elgato gives you options. And lastly, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the features of the microphone that maybe I didn't already talk about too much. This is a condenser microphone, so it's actually very sensitive So if you got a lot of background noise and stuff like that, you might be looking into RTX voice, NVIDIA broadcast, or just in OBS turning on something like noise suppression can help because, yeah, condenser microphones, especially this one, they seem to be pretty sensitive, pick up a lot. And yeah, I had to close doors and turn all sorts of things off in my room in order for it to hear mostly me. And I can still hear it in my monitoring picking up the fans of my laptop, which can get annoying. That could mean that it can pick up the fans of your computer when you're like in a hardcore gaming session and stuff is really cranking down. If you're playing Warzone and streaming and it's a single PC setup, your fans are going to be going, for example, and good chance this picks it up. So noise suppression is something to look at. So, I mean, I'm not going to knock this mic for having really sensitive, a high sensitivity, because that's kind of a thing of condenser microphones, but just something to be aware of. Also, as you can see, I have this mounted on an arm. It came with the adapter to mount it to the arm in the box. If you don't find it, just look again. You'll see it in there. And I think this is a much better way to use the mic than the included stand, even though it's a nice, solid, sturdy stand, mostly because, well, it can get closer to your mouth this way. And as you can hear, if I actually face the microphone and I speak into it, the proximity effect is actually very nice. However, when you're doing this, there's a good chance that you're probably going to want a pop filter. Pop. But yeah, but most people will be using it off to the side like this. Pop filter is a little less important in that sort of situation. I gotta say though, I love the software. This is amazing software. And the one thing that I wish that it had was, let's say, MIDI controller capability. Like, I've featured the Korg Nano Control 2 up here. If you want to check out the video, I'll also leave it in the link down in the description below, where it has hardware faders on it. Now, if you had hardware faders to control what you're seeing here in the Elgato Wavelink software, yeah, things would be so much nicer. However, Elgato gives you something, at least, by letting you can have this kind of control using your Stream Deck. But pushing buttons to adjust sliders, it's not as intuitive as it might seem. It's something, like I said, but having fader control over it would be absolutely nice. I'll also link a video down below where somebody did get one of these devices working in conjunction with the Elgato Wavelink software. However, it's not as clean as you guys would hope. Like, the fader won't move on the device, won't move the fader in the Wavelink software. However, it does control the volume going into it, effectively doing the same thing. So that is something you guys might want to check out if you do want some kind of a hardware fader control of the Elgato Wavelink software sliders. One more thing I really wanted to talk about too is that the capacitive mute, very nice function, because I love the fact that it doesn't really like have a click noise when you do that, because most microphones with some sort of a mute button on it will have a loud click every time you do that, and this is nice because it's just a little touch to do that. Extra cool is that when you touch it, you get a little red light along the volume knob button here. And speaking of that knob here, we can also push the button down to, I can control how much volume is going into my headphones. Like right now, I don't hear myself, but I'm going to turn it back up. And then I can go to how much I hear of my mic versus what I hear through the computer monitoring. So the crossfade, essentially, I like to leave that one in the middle though. Nice balance is good. And then you can tap it over and even control the volume of the microphone all right here. Now I'm lower and now I'm higher, but I'm going to go back down to here. And there we go. Let's get back up to the main shot and we'll talk a little bit more about this. So Elgato sells other accessories that can be paired with this microphone, including their own branded boom arms. They have a low profile, sort of under monitor boom arm, as well as a tall hanging down over monitor type of boom arm as well. So you have some flexibility to choose what works well for you. Of course, this is also compatible with the cheap boom arms you see all over Amazon. So if that works for you, more power to you. With all that being said, I have to say, at what this microphone costs, it's got really stiff competition. Can you find better sounding mics in its price range? You sure can. But remember what I asked at the beginning of this video? I asked if the Wave mics are the main event of their total package. To that, I answer a resounding no. The microphone alone at 160 bucks isn't a great value. However, once you factor in the power of the Wavelink software, the story changes in a big way. It changes in such a way that the software alone makes this package one of the best purchases any streamer can make. What a giant swing that took, right? So let's try something now. Let's get this video to 500 likes and I'll give one of these away. Just make sure to drop a comment down below. Let us know how this mic can improve things for you, and we'll select a random comment to win. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss a single upload. Also, I stream on Twitch every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/Coalition Gaming Crew. So feel free to stop by, drop a follow, and let's talk tech. Hopefully you found this video useful, educational, helpful, or otherwise informative. My name is Chris, and I've been your stream technician. Peace. Also, we've got a bunch of other videos over here, including a lot of related stuff to microphones, stream tips, all sorts of stuff. You want to click one of these, you do. You really do, because, you know, you do, right? You're still here? Okay. Bye.